Hi, I'm Kim Fuller with Fuller Life Concepts, and today, who am I talking to? I'm talking to women who have experienced a significant loss in the last 12 months and the impact that has on your life, your career, your loved ones, and just your overall sense of happiness and well being. So, I got this message from a client, and I'll read it to you. I'm moving a mile a minute, trying to do it all, managing my clients, being available to my loved ones. I'm not even taking care of my own health, my needs, and I'm just feeling like I'm fraying at the edges. Do you know what she's on the verge of? Do you know what it sounds like? It sounds like burnout. Burnout is this overwhelming exhaustion that you can experience. It also is coupled or followed closely with like cynicism, um, feeling a little sense of detachment from like what you're doing, your life, feeling like you're fraying at the edges and nothing that you do is going to help you to get further along or closer to the goal. And you just kind of are in the sense of overwhelm. And that's what she's experiencing at this time. I read a study that said 28% of Americans experience burnout. And if they add in all the people who don't use that word burnout, who just talk about feeling overwhelmed and to the point where they don't kind of feel like they're ever going to be effective in the role that they're in, they say that amount goes up to 65%. That's a lot of us who are walking around feeling ineffective, overwhelmed, unproductive, disconnected from the things that are bring us passion and joy. That's burnout, right? And I know it especially happens for professional women. We all feel like we can do it all. I've been very much involved in that. I know that one of the biggest challenges that I've been, doing my best to overcome is admitting when I'm feeling a sense of burnout and overwhelm, and then asking for help and accepting it when it's offered, right? So there are 4 different strategies that I can think of right now to kind of help you manage this feeling of burned out. The first is think about what are your expectations of yourself. Yeah, there are expectations of all over, but really, what can you expect of yourself in this time of grief, of loss, of rebuilding, trying to make sense of it? I always put my expectations too high. So in the first year after my husband died, I did so many things, including quitting my job and starting a new business. Not a good time to do that. I highly discourage that, making those kind of big decisions in the first 12 months. So look at what can you really be expected to do? What are the expectations of your role at work, at home, friends, family, and then really look at them realistically. Maybe you cut down from doing 4 to 5 things on a weekend. Maybe you just do 2, right? The other one would be time boundaries. Um, Giving yourself specific times when you're work and when you're not at work. When you're mom, when you're not mom. When you are allowed to grieve, when you're not, when you are trying to just manage the grief. I think creating schedules and time restrictions and boundaries really helps to feel like you're making progress and that you're not just being buried under a cloud of feelings and people needing you, needing you, needing you. Also, practice self-care. Find ways to create routines and do it in a ritualistic way, meaning stick to it. I schedule in my workouts. I schedule in my runs. I schedule in time to eat because I can get bogged down and not think about like all the meals that I need to eat. Drinking enough water. I mean, like there's ways and systems to create so that you can keep doing that. And lastly, is reach out for support. It's always good to have somebody who's objective, who sees your life for what it really is versus all the expectations. Yeah, friends and family are the best. And I think you need to create a group of close knit people who you can rely on, but also step outside of that close knit into people who can be a little more objective, whether that is clergymen, somebody in your spiritual circle, or even a professional. If you think that I could be of assistance to you, please reach out. I offer free what we call virtual coffee dates, a time when we could sit down for 30 minutes virtually, doing a video conference, and talk through what are your biggest challenges. How are you feeling burnt out, and what kind of support that you could use? We problem solve right there in the session, and no obligation, but I'm offering that to you. So take care of yourself, and I will see you next time.